Welcome, architects and developers. Today, we are mastering a critical domain for enterprise AI, engineering prompts that produce highly reliable, structured outputs. Let's get started. Welcome to the foundation of production-grade AI. When you transition from casually chatting with Claude to building enterprise systems, your mindset must shift entirely. Downstream applications, databases, and microservices cannot parse conversational filler or vague text. They demand strict, reliable data structures. Engineering prompts for structured output is the practice of removing all ambiguity from your requests. We achieve this by combining explicit criteria, targeted few-shot examples, and forced tool schemas. The deep dive principle to remember today is that you must treat the LLM like a literal compiler. Any ambiguity left in your prompt will manifest as unreliability in your production environment. Let's explore how to lock down these variables. This flowchart maps the transformation pipeline. An unstructured, conversational ask enters from the left. It is sequentially processed through our engineering layers, first applying explicit criteria, then grounding the format with few-shot examples, and finally constraining it with strict tool schemas. The result is perfectly reliable, structured output ready for your backend systems. The most common mistake developers make is using vague instructions. If you tell Claude to review this code and be thorough, what does thorough actually mean? Does it mean checking for security flaws or nitpicking variable names? This ambiguity leads to wildly inconsistent results. In a production environment, overflagging minor issues creates alert fatigue, completely destroying developer trust in your AI system. How do we fix this? You must use explicit, measurable criteria. Instead of saying find long functions, instruct the model to flag functions exceeding 50 lines of code. By doing this, you eliminate guesswork. Furthermore, measurable criteria allow your downstream systems to automatically validate if the AI actually followed the rules, ensuring true reliability. Look at this decision tree illustrating prompt design paths. The top path demonstrates the danger of vague prompts. Asking the model to be thorough leads directly to overflagging, false positives, and ultimately, lost trust. The bottom path shows the solution, using explicit metrics. This guarantees consistent results that your system can automatically validate. Building on explicit criteria, we must confront the false positive problem. This is a heavily tested architectural concept. When your prompt boundaries are too broad, the model will try to be helpful by highlighting everything it finds. Why is this catastrophic? Because if your system flags 40 minor styling differences, developers will ignore the one critical security vulnerability buried in the noise. To fix this, you must explicitly define what the model should not flag. For a deep dive into enterprise solutions, you should define explicit severity thresholds. For example, explicitly state severity 1 means hard-coded credentials matching the pattern SK-. If a specific category consistently generates false positives, disable that category entirely to preserve trust while you refine the prompt. This simple correlation graph visualizes the impact of scope. A broad prompt inevitably generates high false positives, leading users to ignore all alerts entirely. Conversely, applying explicit exclusions results in low false positives, maintaining high trust and ensuring the AI's output remains actionable. Even with explicit instructions, some tasks have ambiguous boundaries. This is where few-shot prompting becomes your most powerful tool. What is it? It involves providing concrete input-output examples directly in the prompt to demonstrate exactly what you want. The golden rule for your certification exam and production systems is the sweet spot. Provide exactly 2 to 4 examples. Providing more than 6 examples just bloats your context window without adding value. How do we structure this? Wrap your examples in XML tags to create clear boundaries. Crucially, your examples cannot just be standard happy paths. At least one example must explicitly demonstrate an edge case, showing Claude exactly how to respond when data is missing or ambiguous. Here we see the internal architecture of a robust system prompt. Below the main instructions, we stack our few-shot examples. We start with a standard path, followed immediately by an edge case, and conclude with a missing data scenario. This targeted diversity allows the model to perfectly generalize its behavior to novel inputs. When your downstream systems demand absolute format compliance, you cannot rely on asking Claude to please output JSON. Instead, you must use the tool use feature. By defining a strict JSON schema and using the tool choice parameter to force its execution, you mathematically guarantee that Claude will output a valid JSON structure without any conversational text. Let's look at schema design best practices. Always use enums for categorical data and always include an other option so Claude doesn't force a bad fit. The deep dive here is critical. If a piece of information might be missing from the source document, you must make that field nullable or optional. If you make a field required, but the data doesn't exist, the model will hallucinate a fake value just to satisfy your strict schema. This flow highlights the danger of overly strict schemas. Our prompt hits the force tool choice and enters JSON schema validation. If a data field is missing in the source text, we face a fork. If the schema strictly requires the field, the model panics and hallucinates data to comply. If we designed it correctly as a nullable field, it safely outputs a null value, protecting our data integrity. As your inputs get larger, single prompts begin to fail due to attention dilution. If you ask Claude to review 15 files at once, it will give amazing feedback on the first file and completely ignore bugs in the last file. The architectural solution is the multi-pass review. We split the workload. Pass 1 is the local pass. We prompt Claude to analyze files individually for syntax and isolated logic. Pass 2 is the integration pass. We prompt a new instance to look solely at how those files connect to each other. Here is a massive exam tip and deep dive. Beware of same session self-review. Never have an agent write code and then ask that exact same session to review it. The model retains its prior reasoning and will suffer from confirmation bias. Always spin up a fresh, independent session to review outputs objectively. This graph illustrates the multi-pass architecture. Large input data is fragmented into independent local passes, ensuring high-fidelity attention for each file. Those isolated outputs are then funneled into a completely fresh session for the integration pass. Because the session is fresh, it provides a comprehensive, unbiased output free from confirmation bias. Let's apply all of this to a real-time use case, an automated pull request review pipeline. To build this reliably, we orchestrate our prompt engineering principles. First, we invoke Claude in non-interactive mode using the P flag, so our CI server doesn't hang. Next, we ditch vague prompts. We provide explicit, measurable criteria like flag SQL string concatenation to eliminate false positives and alert fatigue. We then enforce a strict JSON schema via force tool use, ensuring our downstream script gets the exact file paths and line numbers it needs to post inline comments. Finally, we guarantee this runs in a totally isolated session, destroying any chance of confirmation bias. This is how you engineer prompts for enterprise reliability. I invite learners to like, subscribe, and visit quicktechie.com for premium certification prep, including Q&A banks, full ebooks, audiobooks, full-length training, and interview guides. Thank you for joining. This sequence diagram maps the exact pipeline execution. The CI/CD server sends the explicit prompt and force schema to a definitively fresh Claude session. Claude evaluates the code objectively, free from generation bias, and returns guaranteed JSON output. The server effortlessly parses this structured data to post highly accurate inline comments.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material. So this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepared for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.